Hi everyone, in this tutorial I'll be giving you a quick walkthrough of how to use the Facebook profit model to forecast a time series, and I'll be doing this in very simple 7 steps. And so let's get started. So initially what I'm doing is I'll be installing the libraries, and I'll be importing the libraries that we don't have in the environment by default. So I've installed the Facebook Profit, and here is where I'm importing each of the libraries one by one, and this is where I'm changing the working directory of my file to the location where my input data is stored. Going to the second step, here what I'm doing is I'm reading my input data, and I've printed the head of my data frame, and I'll need only two columns here. One is the date column, the other is the column that needs to be forecasted. So for that I'll be using the close column, and a date column will act as a time stamp. And next let's plot the input data. So here I have plotted the date in my x-axis, and I have plotted my close price in the y-axis. So as you can see here that okay, my start date is about May 13 and my end date is about May 11 2023. So we have data of about a year. And how I've plotted this chart is by using Plotly. You can check out my Plotly tutorials to get a sense of how do we create these visualizations. What we'll do next is we'll divide our time series into train and test. So what I've done here is I've kept everything that is before 2023 in train, and the part of 2023 in test, which we'll use to predict measure your predicted and actuals. So I'll use the train period to build my model and then fit my model. So for that I only need these two columns, which is date and close. So here I'm creating a new data frame called working, and here I'm just renaming the column names for that working data frame. Here is where I'm defining the model, where I'm declaring the model, and here is I've trained the model using this statement model.fit, and I've passed the df working data frame to it. What we'll do next is, so at the end of this step this model gets trained, and what I'll do next is I'll make predictions on the test period. So to do that I create a new data frame which I'm calling forecast, and this forecast, it only has one column for now, which is the dates, which is a list of dates of future, which are in our case is dates for 2023. And this is where I'm doing the forecasting model.predict, and I'm passing the future data frame so that it will forecast the values for the future dates that we've provided. And I'm taking only those columns that are required by me to measure the actuals and predicted. So what the predict function will do is it will give multiple forecasts. It will give the actual forecast, it will give the upper bound of the forecast, it will give the lower bound of the forecast. So here I'm just using the actual forecast, which is y hat, and here I'm changing the column names. And now in this step what I'm doing is I'm merging the actual values and the predicted values, so that I can get a sense, I can parallelly look at the actuals and predicted to get a sense of how off my predictions are, right? So, and as you can see here, we won't be able to visually like get that much of an estimate as to how off our predictions are. So what I'll do is I'll create a visualization out of this, and it'll be a simple line graph with actuals and predicted values plotted. So this is that data frame. So as you can see here that these are our predicted values, which are the red line, and these are our actual values, which is the blue line. So as you will be able to see here, okay, the predictions are not that great, and actually this was a way to do a very quick and dirty forecast. And then there are other techniques, and then there are other optimizations that can be made to this code to make the forecast even more accurate. But here, that was it for this tutorial, guys. Thank you and have a great day.